Okay, we are live. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome back to another Staying Connected session. If you have seen one of the Staying Connecteds before, you might know the pattern by now. It's usually a learner on a Monday, me and Haytham on a Wednesday, and then on a Friday, it is somebody from an organization. So that being said, we do have a special guest today, and that is one of our learners, Sue. So hello, Sue. How you doing?
Hiya. I'm doing kind of good.
Brilliant,
Kind
brilliant.
of
I'm
good.
glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. And so, Sue, what we usually do is we ask our learners, or we ask whoever we've got on, just a little bit about yourself. So, a little bit about you and how you found out about Media Savvy.
Yep, no problem. As quite a few of you know, I've suffered from depression for a while. I was getting myself into a rut. I was just not going out at all. I wasn't even doing my own shopping. I was letting other people do it for us. I was getting scared of going out. And this was well before COVID. You're talking about 2 years ago now. Um, I was given a support worker by Gen 2 because of how my mental health state was. Um, and basically, when he felt that I was at an even on an even keel, basically, he said, "Well, would you like to go back to college? Is there any kind of courses that you'd like to do?" So he got in touch with Mind. He got in touch with tried to get in touch with the art studio,
Yeah,
the recovery college. Um, but at that point in time, I was that introverted. I didn't feel comfortable in big classroom size facilities.
of course.
Um, so I knew that the recovery college wouldn't be for me because their classes, you're talking about 20 to 30 people.
Right, yeah.
Um, and he said, look, there's a place called Media Savvy.
Hmm.
They're doing digital imaging courses.
Yeah,
Did I want to give it a try? If I like it, yeah, I can go back. If I didn't like it, then I didn't have to. No pressure.
for sure.
So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll bite the bullet. I'll go. I got to the doorway on the first Monday morning. I was absolutely petrified.
Really?
Absolutely. It took us everything I had to take that first step through the doorway.
Wow.
As soon as my foot was through the door, Lisa welcomed us, Mel welcomed us, and they made us feel absolutely at home. No pressure, no nothing. They were fantastic. There was about half a dozen of us in the group, and I thought, right, I can cope with this
Yeah,
for today. I thought myself, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it next week, but I'm okay today.
yeah.
And as the sessions went on, I kept on saying to myself, and Lisa, I don't know if I'll be back next week.
Sure.
I don't know if I'll be able to make it. And she was like, well, why? And I said, I'm just
Hmm.
not happy.
Yeah,
But it wasn't because of anything that was going on in the group. It's just I was scared.
yeah,
I was scared. And as the sessions went on, I started to realise I'm I'm not scared to be here anymore.
yeah.
You know, I'm doing okay. And I must admit, it took until about the eighth or maybe ninth session
Yeah.
before I actually understood what I was doing
Right.
on the course.
Sure.
That's when things just started to click.
Started to click.
Um, and from that point on, I was absolutely, I loved it. I loved it. Lisa said, look, we're doing the next stage of the course, starting in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
Do you want to come back? I don't know. I don't know. And I'd reverted.
Yeah.
As soon as the first course was finished, I went back to my old self. and it was only because I was actually starting to be able to get down to the town on my own
Right. Perfect.
that I was starting to feel, yeah, I'll go and see what the next course is all about,
Brilliant. Yeah.
see how hard it is, and I was thoroughly enjoying it. After the second or third week, I actually went out just with my phone and started taking my own pictures.
Brilliant.
I got my own pictures of helicopters that I wanted to
Fantastic.
use because it was the airshow weekend
Oh
that
wow.
weekend. They'd just opened the new bridge
Hmm.
over the river Weir, um, and I thought, well, I'll see if I can take some nice shots of that.
Sure thing. Yeah.
And lo and behold, I got an amazing shot of it.
Right. Yeah.
Um, and it actually looks like a cloud forming the Millennium Falcon above the bridge.
Wow. That sounds amazing, right?
So I had an idea because I am absolutely mental for helicopters
Awesome.
of trying to do like a display picture
Yeah.
of two different helicopters doing fly past, and that was one of my two pieces of work that were exhibited at Shine
It's shine. Yeah.
in December, and I was absolutely over the moon. It turned out more or less exactly how I pictured it in my head before I'd even taken the pictures.
Wow. S-
Um, so next stage is starting to do the video editing
Brilliant.
course.
Awesome.
So that's me next stage.
Cool. And obviously, that's an area of expertise for myself. So anything, any questions that you have related to that,
Mm,
I'm always there.
yeah,
Fire me an email at any time, and I'll be
yeah,
happy to help you. And obviously, we've got the resources online. Obviously, we've got the final video editing session this Friday, 10 to
yeah,
12. But all of the other sessions are there. The resources are still there. And then I'm sure once we get back to normal, we will be doing more video editing courses, and then we'll have like
yeah,
hands-on help with that
mm,
as well. So we'll also have that.
yeah.
But Sue, so I wanted to ask something you were saying there about obviously you're saying you struggling with depression at the time, and do you think that it kind of helped you when you were coming to the classes? Do you think it not like it helped you socially and digitally? Because you were saying you felt more confident going into town and stuff. So do
Oh,
you think?
definitely, definitely. I mean, like I said, the first week I was there, Lisa and Mel both made us welcome at more for parents, sorry, more for grandparents,
Yeah.
sorry. Um, and then as I got to know a couple more of the learners,
Hmm.
they made us feel more welcome. There was I was going through other personal issues which I won't go into now
Sure.
at the time, but they turned around and said, "Look, anything at all that you say to us here
Yeah.
won't go any further. It won't, this is a place for you to relax and
Definitely.
focus on you, rather than focus on your problems that you're going through." And
Exactly.
just being around people like that helped me so much.
I'm really
I
happy
mean,
to hear that.
I
And
mean, mm,
go on, Sue. What were we gonna say?
um, I've been on and off with different medications for my depression up until that point,
Wow.
and it was thanks to feeling so comfortable in the situation that I actually managed to wean myself off the
Wow.
tablets,
I didn't know that, and that is
and I
impressive.
haven't had I haven't had any for, well, up until Christmas. I hadn't had any for 6 months, and then unfortunately something's happened over Christmas which they've needed to put us back on them. But
Yeah,
it's only to stabilize us,
definitely. Yeah, and that's
you know.
obviously fine. And I think that's
Yeah.
perfectly normal, and I think that happens a lot
Yeah.
with people as well. So that's totally normal. But yeah, so obviously you were saying that it was around the eighth week, I think, that you started to kind of finally it kind of clicked for you. But I remember
Hmm.
that I was in on one of Lisa's sessions, and I was kind of curious about what you were doing. And I remember you were showing me, obviously you've got a cat, and you were showing me some of these like kind of cat videos you were working on. And I
Yeah.
thought then, I think that you made something in Photoshop. It might have been a poster or something, but you were using all of your own kind of images and all of your own kind of stuff. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really good. So obviously, there's a little bit of modesty on your behalf there, because when I saw you working in Photoshop, I thought what you were doing was like really good. And especially something that a lot of learners struggle with is using their own images, like the assets
Yeah.
that we provide. They're fine to use them, but then to actually take their own images, and obviously because they have maybe more like more kind of extreme corners or something, it's harder to
Hmm.
cut out. But I thought you were using all your own kind of image assets, and I thought that was like quite impressive.
Well, one of the issues that I was having was because I've actually lost approximately 95% vision in one eye.
Right.
Um,
Wow.
I was finding it really hard to use some of the lasso work
Of course. Yeah.
for when I was trying to manipulate things. So I was having to zoom right in and
Yeah.
do the lasso work pixel by pixel,
Right. Yeah.
which yeah, it takes time. Yeah, you make mistakes, but the good thing is you can just forget about that little bit and go back to the original.
Definitely.
Start basically wipe finish it off. So just wipe it off and start again. And
Exactly.
like I said, I think that's why it took us so long, because I had this image in my head of what I wanted the picture to be,
Yeah.
the final piece,
Yeah.
and I'd gone online and I was trying to find all of these different shots of different locations, different lightings, and
Hmm.
things like that. And that's why I went out and thought, well, I'll take my own pictures for
Brilliant.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
because then at least I stand a chance of getting the images that I want.
Yeah.
And plus, I knew that I wouldn't um have the issue of copyright,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
were my personal pictures,
It's a good point.
and that was a big headache.
Yeah. It is.
Um, it, I mean, to me, if someone puts an image on the internet, that's basically saying, there you go, it's open to the public.
Yeah.
But then, if you try and use that image in one of your pieces of work, you're putting yourself at risk. And
Yeah, and that's a good point, and we always try
yeah,
and stress, using if you're going to use it for publication of any sort. If you're using it for
mm,
personal use, usually it doesn't matter too much because you're not making any money
mm,
off that if it's copyrighted material. But if you're
yeah,
going to be publishing that anyway, it's going to have a life beyond just the personal use. Then
mm,
yeah, we do try and stress like you look for like kind of royalty-free images, or make
yeah.
sure that you credit the person if you're using it, if it is royalty-free. So yeah, you're right. There is a lot of tricky stuff usually with copyright there. So that's a really good point too.
I mean, one tip that I've managed to pick up, um, I've been in touch with relatives over in America, Canada, all over the world, and just said, look, have you got any nice scenery shots? Have you got any nice nature shots? And I'll say, well, if you have, how would you feel about me using them to try and create some images on using Photoshop? Um, and so long as I've got their permission to do it,
Yeah,
then they've, they've all said, yep, there's some images, feel free.
brilliant, brilliant.
And I've got some amazing shots of the Grand Canyon and
Wow,
the
that's lovely,
desert
awesome.
from America.
Right on.
So I'm going to be trying to get those used next when I come back.
That sounds perfect. Yeah, so I want to ask as well, Sue. I thought that something you mentioned about you had this idea for the helicopters, and then that was one of the works or two works of yours, which was shown at Shine. And just for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, Shine is our annual exhibition, which is an exhibition we do for all of our learners' work over the year. and it's just an opportunity for us to kind of showcase that work, and we have it on display for a week. We have a ceremony, and then after the ceremony, it's on display for a week after that. So how was it for you to kind of be able to see your work on display at that ceremony, and kind of to see, everyone being able to look at your
I
work and see what you made?
I know that Lisa had told me that she was going to be putting uh, some of my work in, but I didn't realise that she'd actually put two pieces in,
Ah, yeah, that's
and
awesome. It's good
I
going.
was I just felt so good because, like I said, I knew that it was all my work.
Yeah,
I put a little silly quote on me helicopter and bridge um, piece. Something about it was coming up to it was the anniversary of Neil Armstrong stepping on the moon,
yeah,
and I put a little comment about the army and the oh, the Royal Navy,
right, okay,
you know, battling against each other.
okay, yeah,
Um, and I just felt so proud, and I actually want me support worker actually went along to it after at some point during that first week, and he said, "Look, do you realise how far you've come? Do you
yeah,
realise how amazing that is?" Because he was actually he actually used to use Photoshop a lot for his previous job,
right, yeah, yeah,
and he said, I know how hard it is to be able to use that program
yeah,
when you're not used to it.
for sure,
Um, and looking at the quality of the work that you've done, it's absolutely amazing.
yeah,
Well done. And for, for for just for just for people to recognise what you that you've actually put the effort in yourself,
definitely,
um, it helps you so much. Your self esteem, mine was just through the roof,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely through the roof.
I'm so happy to hear that, and
So
you
yeah,
should be proud as well because I've seen you work, and I can attest to that. I thought it's brilliant. So, good job for doing that. And yeah, he's right. You should be proud, and I think you probably have. You've come a long way as well. So, um, good job. And then obviously we've got the video editing's next, and obviously there's plenty
hmm
more Photoshop stuff we can do together. Um,
yeah,
so it's all good. But one thing I wanted to ask as well, Sue, is I think that you've had a very interesting journey just in terms of kind of some of the stuff that you've overcame. And we spoke a little
hmm
bit before. Do you want to talk about that at all? Like obviously,
yeah.
because
That's fine.
in
I'm an
just
open book.
regarding particularly regarding the weight loss you were telling me about. Um,
Yeah.
so how has that been, and how much weight have you lost? Because I know that it's quite a
Well,
lot.
basically, my dad passed when I was 12, and I'd gone from I was always big. I admit that. Um, I was one of the proper comfort eaters. When my dad died, I went from 15 stone, zoomed up to 25 stone. And as a 12-year-old, that is not a nice. Not only is it not nice on your health, but it's also not nice on your mental health
Yeah.
because you tend to find that you get bullied a lot, which I
Right.
was.
Oh.
Um, it's only thanks to two really good friends who found out that I was getting bullied that
Yeah.
they actually uh, got the school got the school to put a stop to it.
Wow.
Um, but from that point on, I tried different diets. Yeah, I'd lose a couple of stone, then I'd fall back into my old habits,
Yeah.
and I was like that for about I would say about 20 odd year,
Right. Yeah.
25 year. Um, and then 6 year ago now, um, I'd been told that my type 2 diabetes was out of control.
Right. Yeah.
Um, there was a new thing that they could try me with, which was having a full gastric bypass.
Right. Yeah.
Now, at first, I thought, like a lot of people do, oh, it's just going to be the gastric band or it's going to be a balloon. But I, I did a little bit of research, not enough. I should have done more. But I was told at that point, like, sorry, the research that I found out was that it's very rare for the weight to keep off when you've had the gastric band or gastric balloon. So I was asked, I was offered a chance to go down and see the surgeons at Darlington rather than Sunderland. And they said, look, there's two operations that we can do. We can either do the gastric sleeve, which is just basically turning it into like one long tube instead of the normal stomach shape, or we can do a gastric bypass where we reduce the size of your stomach completely and just reconnect it to a bit further down. Sorry
Yeah.
if I'm going into too much graphic detail.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Well, then they said, oh, well, we actually prefer to do the full bypass if you've got diabetes,
Okay.
because there's a 98% chance that the day after you've had the bypass, your diabetes will disappear.
Wow.
I thought, yep, that's for me.
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty. That sounds pretty good, right? I mean, imagine.
Yeah. It was quite a good lead up that they had, because yeah, they said that they wanted you to lose so much weight before you went for the operation.
Sure.
Then they wanted to make sure that your diabetic levels were in a okay state. And then you had to do a liver reducing diet for 2 weeks. Now, actually, I was eating more on that liver reducing diet
Right.
than I was when I was losing the weight.
Okay.
You know, before the operation.
Sure. Yeah.
And so anyway, I went in, had it done. Guess who fell into the 2% of people where the diabetes is still there?
Really? No way.
Yep.
That's dreadful. That's a shame.
So, I mean, the thing is, I was, like I said earlier on, Daniel, I'd gone up to 31 stone.
Yeah.
I was not managing at all.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I wasn't living. I was existing, but I wasn't living.
Yeah.
So I'd started losing the weight. I'd gone down to 28 stone. Then I went in for the operation, and within approximately 9 months of us having the operation,
Wow.
my weight had gone down to it was actually 13 stone.
Wow.
Within 9 months.
Wow.
And it wasn't because I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
As I said, I was actually, it felt like I was eating more.
Right. Yeah.
It's just there was different techniques that they showed us how to eat. I spoke to Mel on Wednesday about the 20-20-20 rule.
Yeah, I heard that. That was really interesting because I'd never heard that before.
That actually truly works.
Yeah.
It really does. Because I think what most people do at the moment is they rush food. Like, oh, I've only got half an hour for my lunch break.
Yeah. True.
I've got to be at this place for in 20 minutes. I've got to be at this place in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So they're rushing making the food. They're rushing eating it, and it's actually been proven medically that it takes 20 minutes for a message to go from your brain to your stomach to say, look, I am full.
Yeah.
Don't have any more.
It's really interesting that.
And like I said, it does actually work. 20 chews between mouthfuls with your knife and fork down. You must put your knife and fork down, because otherwise you're tempted to be starting cutting, and you're tempted to have that second mouthful.
It's
count to 20 after you've swallowed that mouthful of food, and then go for your next one. And the hardest part for me is if you haven't finished your meal after 20 minutes, you've got to put it to the side and leave it for a couple of hours.
So that's it. So so
Yeah,
just to recap, it's um, you need to eat within 20 minutes. You need to chew 20 chews. Put your
yeah,
knife fork down 20 chews,
yeah,
and it's wait 20 seconds before your next bite. Is that right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the
That's
rules.
right. Yeah,
That's a really
yeah.
interesting kind of technique. I think I'd never heard that before. Uh,
Because it actually slows you. It helps to slow you down, and you're starting to think about your food.
Definitely.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And it makes
Um.
perfect sense to me
Yeah.
because the amount of times where I've ate something and then it's not until afterwards you feel full and then you're like, oh, I'm full. But it's like the idea, it makes perfect sense when you mentioned it like that it takes 20 minutes for your brain to register.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
It's like I said, once that idea actually sunk into my head, and I started doing it, I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. See if I can see if it works out. And within 2 days, I was converted. Within 2 days, I was converted. I knew that was how to do it. I mean, even though I'm eating a fraction of what I used to, you're talking about I'm only having about 20% of of the food that I used to have.
wow. Honestly,
Um, but
like I think it's worth like kind of reiterating. You went from, as you said, 31 stone to 13 stone.
yeah, and that was in the I would say that altogether that took us a year.
That's absolutely amazing.
I'm now somewhere between 10 and 10.5 stone.
Wow. That's
I'm
absolutely
still
amazing.
losing,
So yeah,
I don't want to be losing anymore, but it is still coming off.
yeah, yeah, and
Um,
that's amazing. So
yeah.
obviously that method is really interesting, and I thought that was a cool take on it. Is there any other like anything diet wise that you changed? Was there like what was the big thing in terms of diet or
The one big thing that I noticed after I had the operation was um before the operation I was always a savoury person.
right?
And now considering that my diabetes didn't go, I've still got diabetes, it's still
Yeah,
up and down. I'm more of a sweet person, but it's easier for me to resist the sweets, the sweet things,
okay,
or go for the sweet things that have got natural sugars in them,
right.
rather than the chocolate. I mean, I would now prefer to have bananas,
Hmm.
tangerines, oranges, anything like that, than having the sausage rolls, the pies. Yes, sometimes I do still have them. Everyone, everyone falls by the wayside, for want of a better phrase,
Yeah,
or everyone's allowed to have things like that. It's just a case of don't absolutely bombard yourself with it, because
yeah.
that's what I was doing, because I was comfort eating, and I was comfort eating with the wrong kind of food. That's that's why my weight zoomed up in the first place.
It's an
You know.
interesting point. So you're saying like you can comfort eat, but comfort eat with the right food. So
Hmm.
it's making that habit
I
of
mean,
like a banana becomes a treat, right? Instead of a
yeah.
chocolate bar, and then that's like so that's an interesting way to look at it, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's another thing I found was a lot of my comfort eating. I was actually using that to get fluids into it,
Right.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't having. I was either having too much coffee,
Hmm.
or I wasn't having enough water,
Right.
and my body was dehydrating from normal fluids, but it was getting rehydrated from everything that was in the foods, you know.
So have you
So
been? Is that something that's changed? Have you been drinking a lot of water since then, or
yeah, I know that it's a typical symptom of, of diabetes,
right?
but I actually make it a concerted effort to make sure that I have at least 2 liters of a clear fluid every
Brilliant.
day,
That's
whether
awesome.
it's very weak juice, whether it's water, doesn't matter. so long as I'm getting at least the full 2 litres during the day. Plus, I also have I take fluids when I'm heading to bed just in case I do wake up with a
Mm-hmm.
dry throat.
It's a
So
good
I'm
idea.
having even more fluids,
Yeah,
and you
it's
know,
it's a really good point as well. I just want to catch up with the chat really quickly,
yeah.
and so we've got Mel says that you look lovely, Sue. So she says that you
Oh, thank you, Mel.
and we've got everybody is singing your praises here. Um, Matthew says, "Well done, Sue. That's an amazing amount of dedication you have." And Mel says, she says she definitely sees how it would work because she says it's about 30 mouthfuls of food per meal. And she
Mm.
says it's an amazing amount of weight you've lost. So inspirational, Sue. Um, which is great. And then Wibbs says you're an inspiration, Sue. And also, Charlotte says, "Well done, Sue, on the weight loss. That's amazing." So, I've got a lot of people who are all singing your praises there in the chat. So, yeah, and I just want to echo their thoughts as well because I think like I said, to go from 31 stone to 10 stone, that is amazing, and and the fact as well is that you've been consistent with it. You've kept it off and you've adapted to this kind of new lifestyle, and that's absolutely fantastic as well. So good job,
I
Sue.
think the thing that helped us more was with the lead up to the operation. I started going to what I called the food club.
Yeah,
Basically, for 3 hours every Wednesday, we used to go and discuss different things. Um, a lot of the tips I've mentioned to Mel in the past.
yeah,
Things like if you're allowed, if you're allowing yourself 1 ounce of cheese, it's basically a fingerful.
cool.
But if you just have it as a block,
Yeah,
it looks like a tiny, tiny amount.
yeah.
If you think about it and you grate it, you've got like it looks like 5 times the amount when you
It's
grated it.
Yeah, that's a really
You
good
know?
point. I think definitely. Yeah, the difference between like a big slice and then grated,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a really good point. Definitely. Little
Um.
things like that are really important. I
Yeah.
think.
Um. A lot of work was done where we actually learned how to recook. So think the classes that Mel's been doing on a Wednesday, they're exactly the kind of things that we were doing.
Brilliant.
You know.
Something on the same lines of what you said as well. And I think Mel might have actually told me this, but it's just came to my head now, so I thought I might as well share it. Is basically because you were saying about how you grade it and you get more even, and
Yeah.
it even feels like more, tastes like more.
Hmm.
Something as well is like, I don't know if you've heard this one too, like plate sizes. So
Oh, definitely.
if you've got a
Yeah.
smaller plate size, and then it looks like it's more stacked, it actually kind of tricks your brain to think that there's more there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a bigger plate
Exactly.
and you're more
Yeah.
kind of inclined to put more on it, you know what I mean? So there's little things like that, yeah.
I mean, my mum gave me a set of plates when she moved, and her plates. You're talking about. I would say her plates were about 12 inches
Yeah.
in diameter,
Hmm.
and when I got them back home, and I looked at them compared to the size of mine are 8 inches in
Yeah.
diameter.
Yeah.
Now, what one of my carers did for us was put the amount of food that I normally have on a plate for me, on one of my plates, and then she made another plate up using my mum's size
Right.
plate,
Yeah, yeah.
and it honestly looked like I wasn't going to be able to have enough food on that big plate.
There you go, and it makes a huge difference, right? Because
Yeah,
it
it
feels like
does.
it's less food, but it's not. Yeah, so I think that's actually also a really good. There's loads of psychological things like that, and I
Oh,
think
definitely.
that's a pretty good one.
Mm.
So, Sue, you mentioned there, talking a little bit about Mel's streams, and I just wanted to ask basically on those lines, have you been catching up with the virtual streams, and which ones have you been watching, if so? Well, I know you have because we've spoken a few of them. So I was just, so yeah,
um, I'm I've been doing a couple of the intro to Photo Pay. I know that I've already done the Photoshop, but because it's a slightly different package, and other issues that I've been through with memory loss and things, I do find it hard to remember little things like that.
Yeah.
So I've been watching it time and time again, stopping it, rewinding it,
Right on.
going
Yeah.
back, making sure that I've actually understood what you're actually saying,
Sure.
and it's I'm picking up an awful lot
Brilliant.
quicker at the moment because of how I'm doing it.
Fantastic.
I've also done the the I've been in touch, keeping on the staying connected.
Fantastic.
Mel's cooking on the budget, the um, fitness and well-being.
Yeah.
That's helped me out an awful lot.
Brilliant.
And I've on some of them. Well, we've been talking about uh, the body and like the muscles, the bones, the
Yeah.
skeleton.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been brain box in my own head, in my own head though.
Yeah.
But that's because me mum was a nurse and
Ah.
uh, she actually used to help us with anything that I had, any issues that I had when I was doing biology at school.
Ah.
Um, and then what else have I done? I've done the e-safety course
Oh,
with
fantastic.
Ella.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, um, it's Lisa's starting the course on tomorrow. I
Yeah.
think it is, isn't
That's
it?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
10 till 2. I'm going to be doing that.
Perfect.
Um, so I'm absolutely loving it because it means that I'm still exercising my brain, which is helping with my memory. Um, it means that I'm able to keep in touch with a lot of you through the chat, and it's keep me out of problems, keep me out of trouble.
Good stuff. Well, I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, like I say, obviously I've been teching with Mel on some of those sessions, and I've seen you in the chat a few times. And we've had a good crack on. And yeah, like I kind of agree with what you're saying. You've had some really good contributions in those sessions as well. So I think that I think that we've done a diabetes one. I'm not sure if you're in on one
Yeah,
and I remember
yeah.
you've had quite a few good contributions with some of the stuff you've said, and obviously you're saying that's for some of that comes from your mum, so you've got a lot of knowledge on those kind of things.
Well, the thing is, I view I view this as if I can give any advice or any support to people who are going through similar things that I've been through, whether it's about the diabetes, about the weight loss, about the mental health, how I've coped, and
Yeah.
things like that. If I can pass on any kind of positive message or help anyone out who gone through problems similar to what I've done, I, by all means, get in touch with me. I'm always there to offer any kind of support that I can from a person who's actually been through it. I'm not one of these health fanatics who says you must do as I say, not do as I do.
Yeah.
If there's anything, even if they're having a down day, or so I really fancy going down to the chippy or
Hmm.
something like that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Well, I think that's
it
it's really kind-hearted of you, Sue, to kind of offer yourself as a friend and like just someone to kind of help people. And I think that there's a thing in the mental health field, which I think is really great, which is and not just the mental health field, but in a lot of things, and it's called like an expert by experience. And I think that
mm,
that's something that you have, which I think is great because, as you said yourself, you're not a health fanatic, or you're not like a some kind of like maybe like fitness guru, but you are very knowledgeable in those subjects. But what you have is that experience, because you said you've had those kind of
yeah.
mental health issues, and I think having that experience is something that only you will be able to relate to certain people on that level. So I think you made a really good point there. um so yeah, definitely I think that that's one of the whole reasons we wanted to kind of start these streams is to stay connected with our learners and to kind of keep that sense of community. And one of the things that we love so much about our sessions is kind of seeing you guys just crack on in the chat and like the sense of community, that you guys are there
Yeah.
for each other. And it's one of the things that I love most about doing these streams is kind of seeing how you guys support each other as well, and it's peer support at its finest, really. And credit to you, Sue, because you're one of those people who is there to kind of help people, and I think that's a really good credit to yourself.
I mean, I was um I was so bowled over by Charlotte last week. I'd mentioned to Mel that I'd mentioned in the chat that I was having problems going swimming.
Yeah,
Not only because of the lockdown, but even before that, because yeah, I've got two carers who help look after me. Um, one of them refuses to take me to the swimming pool.
right,
The other one um has got an intense phobia about water.
right,
Um, and I'm not going to put her through that.
sure,
And Mel said, "Well, look, Charlotte likes swimming. After lockdown, why don't you stay home?"
definitely,
And yeah, we're going to arrange it sometime when the lockdown's over,
perfect.
so that we can both go swimming and support each other. And that's another way that even I'm getting help. I'm saying that I'm there for other people, but it just shows that everyone needs help from time to time. Everyone needs a bit of support. And Charlotte's very kindly stepped up and said, "Yeah, that's not a problem. We'll meet up somewhere and go swimming." I really cannot wait for that to happen. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I'm so happy to kind of to hear that as well. And I think it's one of the things that I love about the Tesco sessions that we do whenever they're back on, and that's
Yeah,
kind of like it's one of the things I love from that. And obviously, credit for CCG for enabling us to kind of be able to do that, and the health and fitness drop in as well that Rob does on a Monday. They're both kind of things which I see as something that very much kind of supports that ethos or that ethic, which is just like kind of the obviously we welcome new learners all the time and we kind of integrate them, but also for people who've been to quite a few sessions and they're able to kind of go to an environment where they feel safe, they feel like they've got friends, and they've got someone who's experienced similar things to them, like whether it be mental health issues or whatever. And I think that's great. And obviously, brilliant example there, you and Charlotte being able to kind of say, okay, listen, we'll go together. And I think that's awesome. So that's fantastic, and hopefully that it'll open up fairly soon, so you
mm,
guys can go
yeah.
swimming.
So
So that's awesome.
can't wait.
Just gonna catch up with the chat a little bit, and
Yeah.
Wib says, "Nice to finally see you, Sue." That's cool. And
Just don't look at me gap teeth.
oh man, yeah, I've got them as well. So, but yes, Mel said that this week's cooking is egg fried rice, which I love, and egg fried
Oh
rice
yes.
special. It's sorry, I cut that half off. Egg fried rice special with jerk vegetables, so it might be like kind of Caribbean style there, I'm guessing, which is pretty cool. And then dairy-free carrot cake for dessert. So they both sound pretty good. Have you had a chance to cook any of the stuff, or have you been tuning in to any of the cooking sessions?
I did the cookies that you did a couple of weeks back with the bananas, oats, and I I made the mistake of using caramel eggs instead of
Okay.
chocolate because I couldn't get my hands on any chocolate drops at the time.
Yeah, that sounds lovely though.
Um,
Did it not work, or was
oh,
it
it, it worked.
right?
It's just it was sickly sweet.
Okay, there you go.
That was my big mistake. Um, but if I think now that I've managed to get my hands on some Coke chocolate, if I just grate that in, that'll work out fantastic.
Yeah,
Um, I've also got I've taken inspiration from last week. I've actually been out and bought some tofu.
right. Cracking.
I
Brilliant.
am going to actually make something like the vegetable stir fry with the tofu,
Brilliant.
and um, because I've never had tofu before, I'm not sure what it's going to be like, but I'll give it a shot. If I like it, I'll do it again. If I don't like it, I won't do it again. Simple as that.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And It's worth a try, right? I mean, I've had tofu a
Yeah.
few times, and I quite like it myself. It's interesting because it's something that like not a lot of people have had. Like I know a lot of people who've never had tofu in their life, but it is actually really nice if you try it, especially if you know how to cook it. So, and it's not too difficult to cook. I'm sure if you watched Mel's session. So
Well, the
yeah.
thing is, Mel doesn't realise, but I'm going to be dragging her, kicking and screaming by her head, to come
Oh
and do it
wow.
for us.
All right. Perfect.
I'm
Okay.
expecting some bad stuff from that.
No, I'm sure that'll be cool. But so yeah, Charlotte said in the chat, she said that she's over the moon that you are happy that you can go swimming together, and that she can't wait to meet up once the lockdown is over. So that's awesome.
Mm.
And Matthew as well said that swimming's a big hobby of mine, and he's missing it a lot. So yeah, yeah, I love swimming too. It's good fun. Um, so I'm looking forward to
Well,
that
the
myself.
thing is, because I was actually in a bus crash in
Oh goodness.
'94, I've got some weakness down the left side.
Right. Okay.
Um, because of that, I had to completely change what I was doing. I used to be able to walk from the Wee Chief across to Hendon when I was working
Right.
without any kind of problem. But then when I got the weakness down my left side, um, I had to think, well, what can I do?
Hmm.
I used to hate doing breaststroke. Now I hate doing front crawl. I can only do breaststroke.
It's one of
But
those things, right?
the thing is, I learned to love swimming because it was basically all of me excess weight was being supported, and I wasn't putting a strain on me
Right.
spine.
I've got you.
And it was nice just to be able to swim at my own pace instead of thinking, well, I've only got 20 minutes. It goes back to the hurrying things through. Um, my
Yeah.
life has slowed down so much. Because it's not just because it's had to.
Yeah.
I feel better for living a slower paced life.
I think that's a really
You
good
know,
point. Yeah.
instead of rushing around and things like that. I mean,
That's
I had to give up me, I had to give up me driving. I had
yeah.
to give up a lot of things.
It's
But
very.
I actually, yeah,
I think that's very like Buddhist of you, really. It's like quite like a Zen kind of style of life. But I totally agree with you. I think that it's the slowing stuff down and kind of finding pleasure in the simple things. I think that's really important.
mm,
So yeah, I think that kind of like yeah, I think that it's a really good point because I think that especially now, Sue, with all the technology, we're so inundated with information all of the time,
yeah,
and I think that like as you said, kind of just slowing down your pace of life, and I feel like you get it's there's like a saying I heard where it's like sometimes you know you need to slow stuff down to go faster, right?
yeah.
And so it's like
Hair in the tortoise, Pep. Hair
yeah,
in the tortoise.
hair in the tortoise, right? And and I heard as well like slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So it's like if you
Mm,
actually pay attention to kind of what you're doing, and
mm,
then you feel like you actually have more time because you're being able to kind of take your time with stuff. You're not rushing
yeah,
around. You're not like thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. You're kind of just thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do now, and then this is what I'm going to do
yeah.
now, and then it kind of all starts to come together a bit better. So I think I'm with you on that, 100%.
I mean, a big thing that I've had to learn very quickly is if if you've got to make plans, okay, make them, but have flexibility.
Yeah, I agree.
It, and if you don't have to make plans, don't make plans.
Yeah,
Be spontaneous.
yeah,
You know, it's like I I haven't enjoyed going shopping um for a good few years now. And one day, one week, Harris just turned around and said, "Right, I'm with you all day. Let's see what we're going to do."
definitely.
Oh, there's a market on at this place.
Yeah,
Right, okay, get yourself sorted. We're going out. And that is one of the better days that I've had
yeah,
because we didn't
spontaneous, right?
plan anything. We didn't. But as you said, it was just complete spontaneity, and oh, I feel more relaxed when I'm like that.
Yeah, well, do you know what it is as
Because
well? I think that it's because Sue, when you're thinking something's coming up, even if it's something good, you can overthink. Like I'm an overthinker, and you can start to
yeah,
get anxious about it, even though it's something you want to
yeah,
do. You start to think about it too much, and it occupies too much space in your head. So if you're doing something spontaneous, you don't really have time to feel anxious about it because you're just doing it, right? So it's like
exactly.
I think that that's
I
one of
mean,
the
I would, I would talk, I would talk or think myself out of things.
yeah
I would think too if there was plans made too far ahead. I would think too negatively. I would have too many negative thoughts. Or what if this happens? What if the bus is late?
yeah yeah
What if I can't get in? What if there's problems with this, problems with that? And because I, I can't completely stop thinking like that,
yeah
but because I've stopped thinking like that as much,
yeah.
I've actually got a smile on my face a lot of the time now.
Brilliant.
I
I'm
really
happy to
do, and
hear that.
I'm enjoying stuff.
I think part of that as well, Sue, is because that we have this kind of like our default mode is like kind of comfort, and it's so nice to kind of feel that comfort. But comfort can also be a bit of an enemy to us sometimes because it can stop us from doing things that we really want to do. Like you were
Yeah.
saying that when you finally got out, like for example, just to call back to the beginning of this call when you said that how nervous and scared you were coming into the first media savvy session, but then how much progress you made after that. And even you were saying after every session you didn't know if you were going to come back. You was like second guessing it, but look how far you came, and then you get in two
Mhm.
pieces of work on display on Shine. So it's like that level of progress, and that's from just kind of challenging yourself and saying no to comfort. Comfort's great sometimes, and self-care and self-love is essential, but so is being able to kind of put yourself in an uncomfortable position sometimes and say, no, I do want to do this.
Mhm.
And what you were saying as well, I think was interesting about how you can talk yourself out of stuff. And I think that's such a common thing
Yeah.
as well. Like, because if you naturally have that kind of social anxiety about just going out or just going to a place because it's out of your comfort zone, then your brain starts to look for reasons why you shouldn't do it. And then it'll be exactly as you said. There'll be like you look at your brain's just searching around for a reason, and then when you cling on to one, then you can convince yourself like that's it. Like what you were saying about the bus being late, like you could think that, and then you could you know end up convincing yourself not to go, and it's just being able to kind of challenge that, right? So I think that that was quite a good point that you made.
Yeah. You've got to keep on challenging yourself, but don't set the challenges to basically make sure that the challenges are doable for you.
Definitely, very good
Even if
point.
it's just, even if it's just, I need to start walking. Let's have a think. How far can I walk safely?
Yeah,
Have I just taken a 5 minute walk?
definitely.
Leaning against the wall for a few minutes,
Yeah,
5 minutes back to the house.
no, I think that's so good.
And then, you know,
Yeah,
after you've done that for a few days,
yeah,
tell you what, let's have a think about it. I'll do a 10-minute walk,
uh,
have a bit of a break,
yeah, yeah. I think that
10 minutes back, you know?
it's so good, Sue, because I think that making like incremental, small, uh, attainable goals is so important because um, you're right. If you have a goal that's too big, like if your goal is to make like let's say you want to run a marathon, and then like the next day you want to run 6 miles, but you've never run in like however many years,
Yeah.
you're gonna not want to do it, and then when you don't do it you're going to feel bad about yourself, and then you're just going to start to feel worse, and it'll cycle and you feel worse
Yeah.
and worse. So it's like if you like you say if you just
It's what I call the helter skelter.
yeah it is right.
Start at the top, and if you set yourself a target of going straight down, you might as well be on a slide. Not in the helter skelter. If you go on the helter skelter, you go round 360 degrees, and you're getting your target. You're taking your time. You're enjoying things more. I mean,
Definitely.
every, anyone who's been on a helter skelter, if you look out while you're going down, if you look out to the side, then you can see so much more.
Exactly. I think
You know, it,
that's a really
it,
good point. Yeah. Um. So it's Sue. I want to ask. Just we're actually almost out of time already, which is amazing because I feel like this is
yeah,
absolutely flew over. And
yeah,
I told you that it would be
yeah.
like this. It's just we just have a crack on. That's all it is. So I want to get this in quickly, guys. I don't have an alarm, but it is the time for the survey. If you guys would be so kind, I've just pasted the link in there. And if you guys would do me the honor of filling in that survey, that would be a big help, guys. And you know the drill. It takes about a minute. Less than how long does it take, Sue? It takes about a minute, right?
Literally, tick, 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 you're
That's
done.
it. Exactly right. So yeah, if you guys could please do me that favor, it would be great. And Charlotte also said, Sue, she said that she's the same as you. She doesn't like to plan too far ahead and have deadlines. She likes to just do it on the day and have a chill day if she's going out. So I think that a lot of people can kind of relate to that. And Sue, I wanted to ask you before we go. We are going to go soon, but it was just I've still got loads of questions I wanted to ask you, but maybe we can invite you back as well, and we could do another one. But yeah, just do you remember as well? You went with us to the mayor's, right? And you at Christmas time
Yeah,
you went to the mayor. So
yeah, yeah.
how was that as well? Do you remember that? And how was that experience for you? Was it nice to kind of be able to kind of see all of the stuff
It
there?
was, it was nice, but I want to organise it next time.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to organise it next
Fair
time
enough. Okay, that makes sense. That makes
because
sense.
no, it's just it was a little bit higgledy piggledy,
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
and
that's okay. Well, we'll lead you.
basically because in my background I have organised events, big events.
Oh wow, that's
I'm like,
awesome.
well, I wanted to get me hands in and get it running right, but I couldn't.
That's
I
okay.
had to
Well,
take a back seat. But
okay, well, we'll be sure to involve you more in the next time if we get the opportunity to
mm,
go there again.
yeah,
But because I remember seeing you there and I thought like that was pretty cool. Obviously, I thought it was like quite a nice little day.
mm.
Um, yeah. But is there anything at all that you would like to add, Sue? Because we are probably going to go quite soon.
Basically just keep the faith, keep on going. If if you're having a bad day, I'm sure that any of the media savvy staff will be happy to pass on my details if you want to get in touch. Even if it's
Absolutely.
just for a rant and a reel, I'm here.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all people need. But yeah, so guys, the survey is there. I'm gonna list some of the sessions that we've got coming this week. And I'll just give you guys in the chat an opportunity in case you want to ask Sue anything before we go. We will be going in a couple of minutes. Um, but yes, I'm just going to quickly have a little look at some of the stuff. Oh, so guys, obviously we have the final session of pre-employability and well-being with Mel. That is tomorrow, 10 to 12. So if you want to come to that one, that's the pre-employability well-being final session, 10 to 12 tomorrow. We also have a replay of intro to digital imaging. So if you enjoyed Ella's course, then that will be on from 1 till 3 tomorrow. It's not a live session, it'll be a replay, but we'll have a live chat. So if you want to ask any questions, you can. However, the session won't be live. There is a healthy eating on a budget, which is 10 to 12, where Mel is going to make the egg fried rice with some jerk vegetables, which sounds lovely. And then there's also a staying connected on that day, which is 4. So that healthy eating on a budget is 10 to 12. And then staying connected is 4 to 5, and that'll just be me and Haytham nattering on. And then on Thursday, we have a family e-safety replay. So if you want to kind of it's once again it's the same thing where it's a replay of a live session, but we will have a live chat in case you want to ask any questions. And then finally on Friday we have video editing episode 5 of 5 with myself. So if you are wanting to kind of see the final video editing session, I've quite enjoyed doing that series. Then we can have a little look at that as well. And there's plenty of material to catch up on there. And guys, obviously not to plug that too much, but I think that if you are interested in video editing, it is a bit of a gem because I think it's so hard to kind of find resources if you're not able to shoot stuff yourself. And we've got a bunch of resources you could do there. So, I know that I'm teaching the course, so it's rich coming from me. But if I, when I was kind of getting started, had something like this, I would have been all over it because there's just so much footage you can use there. And then obviously we've got another Staying Connected on Friday from 4 to 5. So plenty there, guys, for you to sink your teeth into. I'll just quickly check the chat before we go. And yeah, I think that's it. We've got nobody else has said anything in the chat. Well, Sue, it has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this, and I think you've been an absolutely amazing guest. I think that many people are pretty inspired by your story because I think it's been a pretty amazing one. So yeah, good job, Sue, and thank you for being so active in some of the sessions, and we hope to see you continue to be active in the sessions. But that being said, I think me and Sue are going to go. I'm going to leave the advice lines on for couple of minutes just in the background, and then I'm going to go. But thank you guys for dropping by to get
Bye,
okay, it was going
everyone.
so well. Thank you guys for dropping by today. See you guys later. And me and Sue are going to go, but I'll leave the advice lines on.